Hi, St. Cecilia community. It's Mrs. Betbeze. I've been thinking about you all and wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about grief. I think that we're all grieving right now. Grief really just refers to a loss of any kind. It can even be the loss of something that you expected to happen that's not turning out that way. And I think all of us can relate to that right now. There are two kinds of grief, in a sense, individual grief and collective grief. And right now, I think individuals are experiencing losses like the loss of contact with other people, not getting to see your friends. Some people are experiencing the loss of work. Again, the loss of special events. Maybe you were in the play or you're unsure about what's going to happen with graduation. So a lot of individual losses out there right now. And then collectively, we really are grieving the loss of normalcy. Our world is different right now, and it's probably going to be different after this pandemic is over. We just don't know exactly how. So we're really grieving all together as a society in addition to individually. So let's talk about grief for a few minutes. Many of you are probably familiar with the 5 stages of grief that Elizabeth Kubler-Ross came up with in the late 60s. Really, when she came up with these, it was about dying, not about grief. But as it turns out, they're pretty helpful for grief too. They are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And what I want to caution you against is that people don't go through these in a straight line. It's not like you move from denial through acceptance and then you're done with grief. It really is a process, and these categories are helpful to help explain and name what we're feeling, but everybody goes through them and experiences them a little bit differently. What's really interesting to me is that a 6th stage of grief was added by David Kessler, who worked with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and he added finding meaning. And I think that's something that we're all probably starting to search for right now. So first, it's really important to name and feel your grief. What are you sad about? What are you missing right now? Spend some time with that and just let yourself feel that. We are forever changed by any kind of loss, but seeking meaning in it can sort of build a cushion around our broken hearts. And some questions you can ask yourself when you're ready to search for meaning, and you may not be ready for that yet, is what part of the loss continues to live in you? What can you take from this loss into the future with you? And how has this changed your world? The meaning doesn't really lie in the loss. The meaning lies in us and what we make out of the loss. And as we move through this time of grief together and alone, because grieving really is something that each person has to do, I want to encourage 2 things. One, I want you to witness each other's grief. With your families and your friends, resist judging other people for what they're grieving or what their loss is, because something may feel really important to them that doesn't feel important to you. And when we judge other people, it doesn't help either of us. Judgment sort of indicates that some sort of punishment needs to follow that, and that's not helpful. The second thing I want to really encourage you to do is to find meaning in every day. It's really surprising during this time how we can find meaning in so many little things around us. The birds chirping, or dinner with our families, or FaceTiming a friend, or noticing the sunshine finally, those kinds of things. Even saying goodnight has taken on a meaningfulness that it didn't have before. So I want to encourage you to witness each other's grief and to find meaning in the little everyday things right now. And please know that I'm here for you, whatever you need. Thanks.